The previous round of the ATV National Motocross Championship was pivotal, as Budds Creek entered the series for the first time in over a decade, and Joel Hetrick pulled away from the field, leaving in his wake a great battle for second. Chad Wienen and Brandon Hogue would go at it all the way to the end, with the young Hogue holding on for second with Hetrick taking the win. Into Moto2, a better start for Wienen, but it was New Jersey's Nick Janusa out front early, yielding to Hetrick, and then dealing with all sorts of action again for the number 2 spot. Hetrick keeps on pulling away, be it at Budds Creek or anywhere else, and it means the fight for second is often the best one on the track. Can he keep it going with a moto streak on the line? We head to Pleasure Valley, his home track in Pennsylvania. We're back in Pennsylvania, Pleasure Valley Raceway. Not too far from Pittsburgh. Jason Wygant here to give you the call for the ATV National Motocross Championship. Got some amateur racers and young riders out on the track right now. The big story in this championship is the dominance of Joel Hetrick, who has a big moto win streak going, and this is his home track. And the crowd will be especially pumped up. You see the American flags, the American liveries on the machines. You'll see it mixed into the graphics as well. This is a July 4th weekend event for this championship. So people are fired up, and they got the custom looks going. Of course, everyone wants to show those looks on the podium. And with it being the Hetrick show this year, the ever-consistent Chad Wienen, the question is who can challenge them and also get it up on the podium. Ford has been fast all year, but lately Brandon Hogue coming on strong.
Yeah, so coming off the podium at Budds Creek, super pumped to be back racing again. We had just a little 2-week gap. So Pleasure Valley's been pretty good for me in the past. Track looks pretty good. They made some changes. So hoping to have a good weekend. We got the bike ready to go. So yeah, let's see what we can do.
And first things first, these young kids doing all they can to try to send back the 8-time champion, Chad Wienen. Let's see what Chad has today.
Yeah, coming off of being able to win here last year, yes, I'm still building, and I feel like last event I was able to build some more, and maybe we'll be able to get back close to the top step and battle for those wins. That's my ultimate goal this weekend, and good starts, of course. That concrete start, that's a tricky one. Just every time we come here, it's a little different, but yeah, looking forward to it.
And Chad mentions that building because he broke his collarbone earlier in the year, and that's why the likes of Hogue, Ford, Jeffrey Rastrelli, and many others have been fighting him so hard this year to try to get to second. And if you can do that, maybe you can challenge this man, Joel Hetrick, who's on an 11 moto win streak right now, pulling away in the series. Now look how tacky and wet this track is from practice. The weather forecast has been the story here at Pleasure Valley as much as anything else. There's rain scheduled every single day, leading in, leading out, and during the race days. They've got the track in pretty good shape considering how much weather it's taken on already. But if it dumps, there's not a lot of room for error left. So these riders are all going to be watching the weather forecast as much as they're watching the lines on the track. Kevin Saar and Logan Stanfield throwing down right now in qualifying. Wesley Wolf. Max Lindquist on the number 2, landing the jump. Aaron Salinas there on that very good-looking number 7. Ford on the 5 out of Texas. Michael Allred showing the off-campers, one of the better spots to make passes on this track. And Dane Molander getting the big uphill triple at Pleasure Valley, and Hetrick has the big lap time, fastest in qualifying. ATV Motocross on MAV TV is brought to you by RP Race Performance, by Rocky Mountain ATVMX, and by CST Tires. Back at Pleasure Valley Raceway for ATV Motocross, and the eyes are on the skies. Bad rain expected in the forecast, and then it finally hit, and you can see the damage it did with our amateur racers out on the track. And then the rain would stop, they'd try to reclaim things, and sometimes it actually makes it worse because then the dirt just gets heavy and sticky, and then it would rain again. Big mess out here in Pennsylvania. We'll see how it affects our championship leader. Let's check in with the Pennsylvania native, Joel Hetrick.
We're getting some rain right now. I think the rain's probably not helping us get ready, but either way, we're gonna go out there, have some fun, and try to put down some good laps. Obviously, I like this track. It's home soil for me, so I'm really comfortable out here. The bike works great. You know, I'm just looking forward to go out there, have some fun, and try to get up on that top step again.
Well, rain or shine, we're gonna let it rip for the first moto here from Pleasure Valley. Okay, it doesn't look like we have the full mud set up on these machines. It's sticky. It's not a full-on deluge, but it's going to be interesting for sure. Jeffrey Rastrelli with the onboard. Exactly what you don't want in a muddy race. Not a good start. Chad Wienen, meanwhile, the SSI Decals Whole Shot Award. Huge for him. Track actually looks better than I thought. Some of the area is actually churning up, and it's not bogging the machines down that badly as Wienen tries to get away. I think that's Nick Janusa. Yes, in second, Wesley Wolf, who has some experience racing GNCC. He definitely knows his way around muddy conditions. Best start we've seen for Wolf in a while. He is third, no sign of Joel Hetrick, and this is exactly what you want to see if you want to get back to winning ways. Chad Wienen. Little classic uphill, downhill section here. This track's so similar to its geographical cousin, High Point Raceway, and the old Steel City track. Honestly, that track, Wienen, one of the few, the old Steel City track, one of the few that's raced there as a pro. Used to have races there in conjunction with the Motocross Bike National there. That was a big breakout ride for Wienen way back in his factory Suzuki days. Called it the ATV Open. He has always been good in these types of conditions, and by that I mean the ups and downs. It is raining now. Well, those conditions, obviously, he has a lot of experience in them as well, but every single one of these guys will say whether they're a good mud rider or not, they would prefer it not to be the case because it's not nearly as fun, A, and there's just so much luck that you have to factor in. And right now for Hetrick, a bad start and taking on all this roost and riding in the rain, and trust me, it is raining hard, even if you can't see it on camera. But wait a minute, I take it back. Somehow Hetrick has made a bunch of moves and has gotten to third place. I don't know how he even did that. Sorry, make it fourth. It's Wolf still ahead of him. I thought I saw Hetrick come around before that. So Hetrick some ground to make up, not nearly as bad as it was. But again, luck's such a huge factor here. And Chad Wienen, this Wienen Motorsports Yamaha team, reliability, consistency in the difficult conditions has really been their calling card. Hey, the old split line here at Pleasure Valley coming back into play, and it allows Hetrick to make the move on Wolf for third. Well, boy, not only are the conditions not quite as bad as I thought, but a little more raceable as well. A lot of times you do not get a multi-line racetrack when it's like this because the riders will all go one spot, it'll dry it out a little bit, and everything else is like hitting a mud bog. But good on Hetrick to use an alternate line and use it to his advantage. Now he tries to close on Janusa, the master of the 90cc pit quad. Got an awesome facility now in New Jersey, and they go nuts on those things, the old Honda 90s. But I'll tell you, Janusa, no joke, I really feel like he's stepped up the game. Best season he's had in a couple of years, podium runner, and he's up for the challenge. I don't know if he can hang all the way to the end with Wienen, but he is going to try to make life difficult on Hetrick, who wants to catch him from third. And a little bit of dry dirt even kicked up with an outside line. Well, Hetrick just did the same. Janusa did it, then Hetrick did it, and look at how much rain is still coming down. And as far as the vision is concerned, that's the worst case scenario here. Mud, you have roll-offs or tear-offs, and you can keep pulling them or keep pulling them, but when it rains, as you see Wienen through a tear-off there, when it rains, you could pull that, and within 5 seconds, your vision is covered again. In mud, you can kind of duck the visor, stay out of the roost. You can be strategic with mud as far as roost is concerned. There's very little you can do when it's raining this hard to keep clear vision. And look at how muddy Hetrick is compared to Janusa. Hetrick closing the gap. And the split line's gonna work for Hetrick again. And he has got to be happy about that as he actually kicks up some dust. Not only a line to make a pass, but a line where you don't have to take on all that roost from the machine in front of you because, again, the rain is messing with the vision enough. Oh, now it's really hammering down. And how long will this track hold out? Oh, absolutely brutal. And look at the fans just trying to get to shelter. We could barely even see. It's so dark out here. Janusa showing us the onboard. Full survival race in the mud today at Pleasure Valley, and Chad Wienen still styling the veteran, showing you how it's done. Chad Wienen versus the elements here at Pleasure Valley Raceway. Unbelievable rain coming down, and somehow Joel Hetrick is still charging and still closing. But I thought maybe you just settle for second place in these brutal conditions. Never. He's got a big moto win streak on the line as well. Doesn't want to give that up. And Jeffrey Rastrelli has come to a stop, and that's the worry in these conditions. And that's why I wonder that aggression from Hetrick. Yes, he's got 11 moto wins in a row, I believe, but you don't want to throw away huge points. You've just got to get to the machine to the finish line. And Rastrelli, what is going on here? I believe he's trying to drain the machine. Sometimes he can flip it on its side and get water to come out in the airbox. The exhaust system, you can even pull the spark plug. That's really old school to pump water out. Now Janusa has come to a stop. Stanfield has come to a stop. And Hetrick, is he running into problems or is he just riding conservatively? Now all this rain. No, Hetrick's in the lead. Wienen was behind him. Lindquist, it is completely come undone. And Hetrick, not even pushing any longer, finds himself in the lead on the Phoenix Racing Yamaha, and that is a big difference. We have seen him be luckless in these mud races in the past. Now he's taking advantage of problems for others. Rastrelli's got it back fired up. 2 to go. I'm trying to listen. This is wild. It's got to be the slowest we've ever seen a leader go. Adam Ulrich with his problems. And steam and smoke coming out of Hetrick's machine. Can he get to the finish? Rastrelli bump started it down the hill. Is he going to make a pass? Listen to how bad that machine is running for Rastrelli. Look how bad it's running for Hetrick. Now the white flag. This is unbelievable. Janusa trying to get it going. Bryce Ford, who we have not even seen, is up to second place. And Dane Molander is sixth. That would be a rookie career high for him. And Hetrick is just trying to get to the finish line. Ford is charging. He's going pretty fast. It's around Stanfield, who's gotten it back fired up. Same with Janusa. There's Hogue on the side of the track. I've seen so many mud races through the years in this series. I don't know if I've ever seen this type of carnage. Is that Ford who just went by? Yes, it is. And Hetrick's upset. I don't think he realized he just got passed for the moto win. Bryce Ford wins it, and his brother will finish in third. Just absolute insanity, and we have another moto to go, and then you see everyone going to work on the engine swaps because every one of those machines has to have been trashed. It's part of the game here in motocross. And we're ready for Moto 2, and now a disappointed Joel Hetrick and everyone else with their rebuilt machines. You see they're running a little bit larger tires, what they call the big tire race. You need more ground clearance to get through how bad these ruts are going to be. What's going to happen now? And Wienen just rammed everybody, bumped Hetrick out of the way into turn 1. He has the lead for the second time today. It's Rastrelli and Ford second and third. Now Wienen ended up 5th in Moto 1. If you're Ford there in third, you have the opportunity to get your second overall win. And that would be so big for him. Remember, he still has a shot at this title. He's second in points. And Wienen trying to get away like he did in Moto 1. Ford not messing about. Quickly into second place. Oh, he got kicked on the takeoff of that jump forward in second. And good job gathering it back together. More rain coming down here at Pleasure Valley. Shout out to Jeff Cernick, who operates his facility to even keep the track in this level of condition. It doesn't look that bad when you consider how much rain we saw coming down. And shout out to Chad Wienen for riding this well in these conditions. And it is stretched out quickly. There's Hetrick in fourth. So Hetrick, after second in Moto 1, he's got to go out there and beat Ford here in Moto 2 to try to get the overall win. And that Moto win streak he has is already over. That's why he was bummed. I don't think he was getting the signal that Ford was closing in. He was just coasting around on the final lap to make sure the machine kept running. Didn't know he had to pick up the pace. Battle is on right now. And that would be, let's see who's who here. Rastrelli, Lindquist, and Hetrick for third. And Hetrick staying close and putting the pressure on, but the problem is you take on so much roost right into the radiator of that machine. You can actually take on less roost to your goggles when you're that close, but it just goes right into the machine. Although if it keeps raining like this, it's a little less of a threat. When it stops raining, that's when it starts to stick and get heavy. Here you got to deal with the vision and the slipperiness as Hetrick airs it out. Nice move to get Max Lindquist for third place. Hetrick takes a rip there at either the roll-off or the tear-off. Clear vision now with the Scott goggles. Let's see if he can power down and get to Rastrelli for third. This will be an interesting fight. Hetrick has found multiple lines in a track that shouldn't offer them, not in these conditions, although it doesn't work this time. He's gotten stuck several passes, and now your championship leader's in trouble. ATV Motocross is brought to you by RP Race Performance, by Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com, and by CST Tires. More rain, more laps led for Chad Wienen, ATV Motocross from Pennsylvania. And Bryce Ford in good position to win the overall today. He's looking at 1-2 scores if he can keep it like this. And in these conditions, that's as consistent as you could expect to be. Joel Hetrick is in 15th place after getting stuck trying to take third away as we went to commercial. Just out of hand, the conditions we've been faced with, and they knew it was coming. The forecast was quite daunting all weekend, held off for a little while, but once it started raining, it just won't stop. Bryce Ford just needs to stay here. Hetrick moving up, picked up a couple positions to 12th. And Wienen, impressive what he's putting together here, slipping and sliding around at almost borderline. Looks fun. Ford looking around with a check on Rastrelli and the rest of the field. How close are these guys? They're not that close. And the pit board probably telling him the same thing. Gotta be easy on the equipment in these conditions. Try to stay off the clutch. Nothing builds heat in an engine like pulling in that clutch under revs and obviously temperatures. You really work an engine hard. You don't want that to happen. You can either overheat the engine or just simply fry the clutch itself, especially in the ATVs, and especially when you put the big tires on here. There's so much more load on a clutch than you would have on a two-wheel dirt bike. And you see Wienen's riding style being very upright on the machine in the corners, trying to get traction. Dane Molander, the rookie, had a great first moto. Problems here in Moto 2, and it was at the very end of that first moto where everyone started to have equipment problems. White flag is out. Will everyone be able to keep it going to the checkers this time? It's not raining as badly. Bryce Ford looking for another overall win and making up a few points on Joel Hetrick, although I will say Hetrick has avoided the worst case scenario. No DNFs in the motos today. And as far as the points are concerned, that's really what it would take for Ford or Wienen to start reeling him back in. So Chad Wienen, a moto win en route, gets it, but a 5th in Moto 1 is going to cost him a shot at the overall. It is Bryce Ford. I'm going to call him the opportunist. Another overall win for the rider out of Texas, Bryce Ford. And he won earlier in the year in Florida when Wienen and Hetrick got together. Kevin Saar is going to be on the podium with 4-6 scores on a wild day for everyone. Let's talk to them.
Hello guys, it's Kevin Saar here. It's been a crazy day today. It was super muddy and I got on the podium, which is unreal for me. I have dreamed about this for years and years, and just to be here in the stage racing is one thing is really important to me, but to get here on the pro podium, it's just unbelievable. I would like to thank everyone, my sponsors, my family back home. Super thankful, thank you.
Madness struck once again. It was almost like Ironman 2.0. Took a big gamble on an inside gate and I ripped the whole shot again. Those Maxxis tires were ripping. Man, just I won that second moto wire to wire, and man, that was actually a lot of fun, that second moto. But you know, ultimately what could have been today, but huge props to my team. We had to swap an engine in between motos, so huge props to them. Thanks a lot.
You know, just rode my race and then it started raining super bad, and it was just conditions that, you know, we had to try to manage and do the best that we could, and I ended up making a last lap, last turn pass to win the moto. And then in the second one, just got a really good start and rode my race and got second in that, which put me first overall. So super stoked to, you know, obviously win. That's what I dream and that's what I worked for. So just gonna try to keep the momentum going into Briar Cliff and hope to get back up on the box there.
And Hetrick saw the results there. He got 6th overall with 212 scores. Here's your CST Tires race recap. Great starts for Wienen. He was gone early. Hetrick making moves. Loves to split lanes on this track to get around a couple of riders. He's up to 3rd now, challenging Janusa, then uses the split line again to get to 2nd. And then he was putting in a real charge to catch Wienen, but then the skies opened up and everyone was having problems. And then there's the pass. Hetrick did not even know that Ford was close. Ford steals the moto win within feet of the checkered flag. Moto 2, Wienen another SSI decals whole shot, but this time he kept it going the whole time and got the win. Hetrick was making moves, but this move did not work. He got stuck, went as far back as 15th place, was only able to get back to 12th. And there it is, Ford with his 2nd career overall win is still 2nd in points. A long way to go in this championship. It is not over. Bryce Ford, what a season he's putting together.